Hello? This thing. Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing that every week now. Okay, that's kind of no, that's low key. That's low key a habit. All right. Anyways, we are here as calmly as we could possibly do. We're here, man. The first episode of No Cooldown for 2022. Ew, I feel old as shit, but we're here, man. WenEazy. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing pretty well. I cannot complain. I gotta fix my camera really quickly, but other than that, everything is perfectly a-okay with me. How are you
That's
feeling today, Trip?
that's fine, man. That's fine. I about to say feeling real tired, bruh. I'm just tired of work and all that. But listen, I'm here for this pick me up. I'm here to talk about these games. A lot of stuff happened, like low key, a lot of stuff happened this week. And there was a couple of joints I seen. I was like, okay, we can cover that. We can cover that. Oh, see one more thing. We'll get to that towards the end of the pod. I'm like, yeah, somebody's got an opinion on this, so we'll definitely get down to the bottom of it and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? What's up to everybody pulling up? Again, just a PSA that we are now available on Anchor and Spotify podcast. So you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Go
sir.
search
Yes,
up.
sir.
You literally just have to search up No Cooldown. There's nothing else on the Spotify app. I tried. I searched everything else, and you go straight to that every single time. So you have no excuse. Go search up No Cooldown on Anchor and Spotify podcast. Soon to be on Apple Podcasts. Working on that stuff and other major platforms very soon. Check that out. And then when that's done, you want to go check that out on audio platforms, go check the video version on YouTube, on my channel respectively, and WenEazy channel respectively at Wotaku channel. You can catch the video version, see our live reactions, me doing backflips while I'm calmly, giving the news. So if you listen to the audio version, I'm definitely doing backflips. Don't check the video version to, verify that. But anyway,
We're lifting weights
it's
and
the
doing backflips as we're doing the podcast.
facts. Whole trapeze artist, man. Listen, that's what you're missing out on if you're getting the video version. So you know what I'm saying, you might have to check it. You might have to check it. But that's there as well. Check out the No Cooldown Twitter at No Cooldown Pod. We got a lot more stuff coming, a lot of daily content we want to get going on that. So yeah, keep in tune. We doing the damn thing. So before we get into the actual topics, I just saw this and this was so I think it was Viacom and stuff. They're planning. They started to look at options to sell the CW network, and I was like, who buying that? Who buying that? So I don't even gotta give no background stuff, but like basically that in the article it said they haven't been profitable since 2006, and I was like, dog. When did Smallville come out? Was it earlier than 2006 or was it around 2006? I don't know.
It might have been 2006.
That's when that was up, and some other show like Supernatural and all. So I don't even know, but around that time period.
So the CW was founded. The CW was actually founded, if I'm not mistaken, in 2006. So it hasn't been profitable since the year it was founded.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, let me just double check because I saw that
Please,
all over Twitter. That's what they've been saying.
Please, I honestly, for the comedic joke.
Yeah, founded in January 24th, 2006.
There's no way.
I don't know how you go
out the gate 21st? In debt.
Yo.
Pure American citizen the CW is. That's kind of wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. How do you like? Dang, I don't even know what to say, but I mean, Rip Bozo. I don't know, because I'm like, damn, bro. Like y'all had a couple of joints maybe for the first couple seasons. You know what I'm saying? Flash was there for a few seasons. You know, Arrow was there for a couple seasons.
You know? They had like four. They had four. How do you want to say four? Because I feel like that number is really big. I want to say they had at least three. Even then, at least three. I'm gonna say.
And that's aside from Smallville. That's aside from Smallville and the old shows. I'm not counting them joints. I'm sorry. I'm not counting them joints. It's too far removed. I'm talking about the here and now shows they were making in the past, like 5 to 10.
Yeah, like Arrow season 1 and 2 was pretty solid. Season 1 of Arrow actually wasn't that bad. Season 1 of Flash was kind of interesting. Other than that, like
I'm just saying, yo, I'm trying to figure out who picked. Yo, somebody was like, yo, if Disney pick them up, what the hell they even gonna do with them boys? Oh my gosh, Disney was like, man, we'll throw a couple things. Man, I don't know.
HBO should buy them. If
Turn
anybody's
it.
gonna buy, for the licensing, really, just for the licensing of shit. Like
Hey,
if that's how that works, like if you have to buy the CW to get the license to Arrow and all the other characters, like I think
yeah.
that would be cool because then they would all be in the same universe, and then HBO could do some Disney Plus stuff. But we'll see. Really, like it because how much y'all asking for? You know?
Facts. I'm like, yeah, we need $1 billion. I would laugh your ass out the boardroom, boy. We said we need $1.8 billion right now for the CW network. I'm like, bro, I got about 350, and you might have to hold
Yeah.
that. You might have to hold that, dog. I don't know. I if
You
for the
might have to
right
pay
price.
me to get your shit.
Facts. Facts, bro. Like how much can you loan me a day? You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to give it back to you at all for me to take this off your hands. Like I don't know how we're gonna work out that math, but y'all gotta do something, man. That's insane though.
Absolutely.
End of a terrible era. You know what I'm saying? Prayers down. You know.
Yeah. Rip to them. Built different
Facts.
though.
Facts. I guess, bro. Y'all be all right. Y'all had a run. You guys ran somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Somewhere.
But anyways, let me get off that. As a matter of fact, we can jump into also the other small topic we saw like literally like in like an hour or two ago. Saw a lot of rumors on Mario Kart 8. Actually Mario Kart 8 sequel, my bad. Mario Kart 9. We had a games consultant named Dr. Sirkin Toto. He said that the Mario Kart 9 is in development now and noted that the brand has been relatively quiet since Mario Kart Tour. And there's a big twist coming. A big twist that's going to be involved with the gameplay. And nobody knows what it is up to this point. And I'm curious, what you think about Mario Kart 9, how you feel about Mario Kart in general, what do you want to see from it, if you want to see anything at all.
I love Mario Kart. Honestly, I remember watching a video on like trivia of Mario Kart. And they were saying that the reason they haven't made a new Mario Kart is because every iteration of Mario Kart they try to change something. So like Mario
Yeah.
Kart 7, which was on the 3DS, was where they added gliders. 8 was
Yep.
where they did the zero gravity, and that's why we got 8 Deluxe, is because they didn't add a new twist, so they were just like, let's just
Yeah.
make another version of it.
Mhm.
9, I'm excited for. I don't know what the next big twist is. Personally, I really enjoy the game, so like I don't even care if there isn't a big twist. Like if they just add more tracks, I'd be happy with it, to be honest with you, because it's just a solid overall game. So I can only hope, as long as they don't destroy what they have, it can only get better.
Facts. I don't know all the minutia, the detail of like, what I'm saying, like these hardcore people, like playing Mario Kart day in, day out, racing on the track. They like breathe in and breathe out asphalt, all that shit. I don't know. But from the generalist, from the casual Mario Kart player, I think they can honestly like do no wrong, honestly. They add a new component. Again, like we talked about this literally before we started recording, like, that had like the double dash element or, again, the glider element, something that again that shakes it up really, really well. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if they bring back the double dash card or something like that. I would love that personally. But I know they got some crazy twist. I have no idea what it is, but we'll see. Anyways, it's like the Nintendo fans, what else they got besides, what I'm saying, the the mainline Mario stuff, what else do they have? So Mario Kart, probably it was a good time for them to step in. It's like cyclical, bro. It's like when Smash ends, Mario Kart starts. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
it's
like,
party
yeah, and
or
then, yeah, and then,
solo Mario game.
facts. They just fill in the gaps like right there. It's never like one at the same time. It's like when Nintendo fans get restless enough, they get, what I'm saying, they don't shower long enough. It's like, all right, bet, let's give them some
Actually, right now it's actually
curve
Splatoon,
observation.
because Splatoon is actually
Oh
the
yeah,
next thing up. So
Splatoon
it's
3.
Splatoon is coming through. Yeah.
So it's Splatoon 3. So yeah, this is probably gonna be like a 2023 joint. I think it's probably gonna be like a later one. But
I wouldn't even say that. I would say 2024, because we got
mm.
Splatoon is coming in now, but then once Splatoon stops is when the next Breath of the Wild comes in.
Oh, I forgot about Breath of the Wild too. Damn. Yeah, people gonna be on that like crack.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, Nintendo's
Hmm.
moving. It's moving. It has its
Yeah,
own pace. You're never gonna get
definitely.
like a crazy year from Nintendo, but you'll get consistency, and that's why
Yeah,
they're Nintendo. That's why they're still going.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, that is what it is, man. Mario Kart 9 racing to a track or switch near you at some point. But let's get to the main topics for today. The scheduled topics. And first and foremost, let me stop the press with one of my favorite joints for the past couple of years. Hold on, Jedi Fallen Order 2. The Force push is back. We pushing back on the damn scene. So hot off the press, and according to reporter Jeff Grubb, the critically acclaimed Jedi Fallen Order series is getting an anticipated sequel that is set to be announced at some point in time before June E3 2022. Now, it's been close to about 3 years since the first Jedi Fallen Order, and this has got the fans excited for the continuation, with most likely Cal Kestis, Seer, and the whole gang after the events of the first game. What are your thoughts, WenEazy?
So, Jedi Fallen Order is one of those games where I didn't beat it, but it's not gonna get beaten before I die. Like, I do plan on going back. I just haven't decided because it's such a good game that I haven't decided. Do I want to make a video on it? Do I want to stream it, or do I want to just say fuck it and play for myself?
Mhm.
And a lot of the times with these kind of games, it was really really good. But because I was so ass at it, I'm like, damn, do I really want to stream myself dying to the same monster 6 times
Yeah.
for like 3 hours? I'm like, damn, do I want to just play on my own? Phenomenal game, honestly. I'm really excited with where they're going with the franchise because before this franchise, I can't really remember a Star Wars game that wasn't Lego that really blew me away. That I was like, I need to play this. Like
Yeah.
Battlefront was like everybody
Force
had high
Unleashed
hopes for
1.
Battlefront. Yeah, one was
Yeah.
horrible, two was terrible, and then it became playable after a while. But
Mhm. Yeah.
this was like the first time we got a good Star Wars game and a good single player one at that, like a really good single
I,
player one. So I'm
yes, this
excited.
is this is like one of the best ones that they put out. I will say again, Star Wars Force Unleashed, just for the story of Star Kill and all that stuff like that. I do got to put him in that conversation just because of my personal bias. But in terms of
Hmm.
overall, what I'm saying, the experience, I feel like this is the best, possibly like single player thing that they put out in like the past decade, which includes that.
I would even love to see them add elements of Force Awakens. Was it Force Unleashed? It was
Yeah,
Force
Force
Unleashed, right?
Unleashed. Yeah,
I
Force
would love
Unleashed.
to see Force Unleashed elements because I remember when I was younger and I remember watching G4 way back when they were showing off like gameplay and like people like when you hold the stormtrooper and like he grabs onto people like that was always super
Hmm.
cool to me and I would love to see that. I would love to see maybe not necessarily having that overpoweredness, but like I wouldn't mind those games coming back because those were fun. Those are a different take on Star Wars. This is more like a Dark Soulsy like you gotta be good at what you're doing as a Jedi. But like adding maybe in the next game, since he's getting stronger, he can do
Hmm.
things like move around, stuff like that. But again, if they want to just keep it as like boots on the ground, also really good idea. But those were phenomenal games themselves. I'm just upset as to
Hmm.
what happened to them. Hopefully, we can get a good trilogy of Star Wars single player games.
Please, please, man. Like, for me, this game is actually near and dear to my heart. For the little trivia, whatever, down the years, what I'm saying, when I get big, I turn Hollywood on all these niggas. Now I'm playing. But when I get down the line, actually the first game I actually uploaded any YouTube video for was Jedi Fallen Order. It was like a whole 20 ass minute. I spent like days trying to edit that shit together. I was so nervous. That was my first ever YouTube video. That was like the second game I ever streamed on Twitch. Like when I started going, I love this series. I love it. I'm not like the hugest like crazy over the moon Star Wars fan, but I am a pretty big fan
Yeah,
of it. Uh, the way they did this whole entire story and the way they weaved it into the events of the whole, Skywalker saga and stuff like that, where he sits, it was dope. I just want to see Cal cross paths with more people over time. And one of my big asks with this is that he either sees Ashoka Tano, or Obi-Wan at some point in this game. That's my only ask. I want to see him like run into like a big Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Like a really giant, big one. Because we already got. Wait, you haven't played it, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But yeah,
I'm
yeah, I'm not gonna.
completely fine if you do, but
No, no, no. I'm not. I'm gonna be pure. I'm gonna respect the line. Okay, I'm gonna respect the line.
I
Good men don't spoil. All right. Black
good
men don't
men do
cheat.
not spoil.
Good men don't spoil. Hashtag that motherfucker. But anyways, uh, with just the general plot, it's just really really good. I love this kind of that pocket that they inserted themselves into, and I want to see how that kind of runs across, because we're starting to see a lot of stuff even just outside of gaming, in the Star Wars space. They're weaving a lot of stuff in. Of course, you saw with the Mandalorian, you saw Ashoka at some point. With the Star Wars, with all the different Star Wars
Yeah.
series, like you're seeing a bunch of different people pop up from before, and just again interweave across so many different projects, and I think this is gonna be no different. And I just want to see it thrive, man. The gameplay was dope. Again, I agree with you. If you can take it over the top even more, and with like like crazier force effects and things that Cal can tap into, because he's just kind of relearning himself after he kind of shut himself off from the force. So
Yeah.
that whole process of him getting some dope ass powers would be mwah, fantastic. Settings, literally, like, you can go wherever, bro. At this point, it's an open slate, and I have full trust in Respawn to like deliver because they came from nothing with the first time round, and they knocked it out of the park. Like, they surprised a lot of people, and I have no doubts this will be a good one. And with the word that we're hearing, there's some rumors that it could drop 2022 as well. So that might add another big joint on top of this. I don't know for sure, but if it is, that just took 2022 to a whole nother level with it, man. Because there's already a lot of stuff dropping, and you throw this
Yeah.
into the mix, it's gonna be a heavy time for gaming. Yeah, but yeah, man, Jedi Fallen Order 2 is just yes, I need it, need it, I need that. Oh, no,
1000%. I hope it's not the 2022 just because I'm broke and I would like to be able to purchase at least most of the games that I want this year, but
listen,
it's also a game that I could see it being released pretty soon because it's been 3 years. I'm assuming they're not changing the engine. I'm assuming they're just gonna
yeah.
probably like build off what they have. It could
Mhm.
be very much closer than we expect.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it's been a good amount of time. The last update they did was just kind of like the arena challenges, kind of like the Batman Arkham, like little like fight challenges and stuff like that. We had like different types of enemy waves and whatnot. That was the last major update they did, and that was like maybe like a year and a half ago, like almost two probably. So they probably just as soon as they finished that roadmap, which was probably way before then, they did that and they started committing work to the next project, which was Jedi Fallen Order 2. So I I'm thinking it will be a quicker turnaround. Holiday 2022, I would not be surprised by. I'd be surprised by the entire thing in general, but if it was like a date range, holiday 2022 seems pretty up on there.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, this came out the blue, so this thoroughly surprised me. I'm happy to see it. The crowd wants to see it. The people want to see it. Respawn, do your damn thing. Jedi Fallen Order 2. We will see you somewhere down the line. All right. Let me switch it down. Damn, man. The Game Pass train, baby, is growing. The Game Pass train. People, yo, man, it's been going crazy. But this week we had a wave of news surrounding Xbox and subscription services, and it looks like the momentum of the service and the platform is not letting up. So there's a couple of different actually news stories that play into the general theme of Xbox and Game Pass picking up a lot of steam. So first and foremost, we just had a bunch of new games that came to Game Pass this month. Most notably, the new games that are dropping on the 13th, the Crucis, and Spelunky 2 I don't think is new. Is it new?
Spelunky 2 came out, I want to say last year, but it
Okay, cool.
is
Yeah,
it's free on it was not free, but it's on Game Pass.
yeah.
I want to say I could find the date for you, but it's pretty recent
Mhm.
actually.
Yeah. But yeah, the Crucis, which is not released yet and will drop day one on the 13th, and Spelunky 2 are dropping again January 13th. And then the Outer Wilds and Mass Effect Legendary Edition are dropping on the 6th, which is damn today they're out. Oh
Yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
actually was
Yeah.
out last night. I downloaded it. I actually, as soon as I saw that, I freaked out in my Discord. I was like, I need to get this Mass Effect because I remember I was telling you, I was like,
Yeah, one
I
month
really
ago.
love Mass Effect, but I don't want to buy
Yeah.
it because I already played it, but I would love to
Mhm.
play the new one, and this is perfect for me.
Mhm. Like yeah, months ago. I remember months ago we had this conversation and stuff. So like damn, they're packing it on, man. There's some heavy hitters in this, some day one drops, some exclusives that are coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. Not really too much exposition on that stuff, but they had some shit coming. Next major news announcement under this little umbrella, Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox consoles. So they didn't really announce a date, but they confirmed the availability on Xbox consoles for the near future. And alongside a platform drop, Ubisoft also tacked on the announcement that Rainbow Six Extraction is dropping day one on the Game Pass as well. So Ubisoft is going in. They going in with Xbox as well, man. They say, hey, yo, man, just throw it up there, bro. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We got 14.99. Put it up there. Put it up there, man. How do you feel about all this movement from the Ubisoft news to and just everything that's encapsulating Xbox and the Game Pass stuff right now?
So it's a very interesting time to be alive as a gamer right now because Game Pass and if you check out Wotaku, we're fucking humongous Game Pass fans. I have a series where I go through Game Pass games and play them and review them on whether they're worth the download or if they would be something that would interest you. And the reason I started that series was because I felt like there was so much on Game Pass that some people just really don't know what to play because there's literally so many games, but it's gotten to the point Xbox adds so much heat that I literally was recording I want to say on Tuesday I was recording a video for a game, and by Wednesday I had to start recording a different video for a game because they added new stuff and I was like, "Oh, this looks way better for me to talk about." Like that's how often it changes. Ubisoft Plus, I've only heard of one person getting it, and it was my friend Justin, and he got it because he was like, "Yo, I want to play Far Cry, but I don't want to pay $60, so I'm gonna pay $15 for 1 month, beat it, and then not use it again." I was My cousin had COVID a while back, and he was like, "Yo, I need to play. I want to buy a game so that I can play for the next 2 weeks because I'm gonna be bored." But I don't. He's like, "I don't know what to buy because everything is like $60." I was like, "Why don't you get Ubisoft Play?" Because in my mind, I thought it was already on console because he wanted to play the Assassin's Creed games.
Got you.
The fact that they're just not going to Xbox, they're really slow on the pickup because if they wanted this to spread, they need to be on the consoles. They need to be on the because at the end of the day, these passes, these monthly subscriptions are great deals, and the people who I feel like benefit the most from this are people who are on console because they get the least amount of sales than PC players. And not saying that I do this, but PC owners can just illegally download the game if they really wanted to. So like the people who need deals,
Allegedly.
they might not even allegedly. I don't do it, but I'm just saying it's like some people don't even need monthly subscriptions. They can just put their pirate hat on and they're good to go. So I think that them not prioritizing consoles was really a big mistake on their part. And Rainbow Six being on Game Pass, I wonder how much weight Xbox has in the Ubisoft like building. Like how much that's a day one triple A release. Like that's like a big game for them. So it's crazy that they're putting it on Game Pass and not a Ubisoft Play.
Mhm. I I think that speaks to the weight that Game Pass has garnered so far. If you want exposure and access to a wide amount of people in a way that I think would be beneficial, whatever split of money they have getting from Game Pass sales from their games or whatever downloads that they get, that's on the inside. I don't know what that is, but just looking at the sheer thing on paper, looking at sheer plan and thing in place on paper, we've already seen EA dive deep with Xbox. They had EA Play. They're like, oh yeah, man, why don't we just throw this in with Xbox? They got a lot of stuff going on. We just build on what they got going on and then double up on that side. We get more exposure on our stuff. And you see how they've moved forward a lot with that inclusion on Game Pass. So I feel like Ubisoft is kind of taking those same strides and kind of getting it in first. This feels like a trial period a little bit. It's like, okay, we have a big release. You know what I'm saying? Other games, of course, it's not the biggest one that we have. Rainbow Six, Quarantine's been there. I was about to say, yeah, what's it called? Quarantine's the old name.
Yeah, the
yeah,
extraction
Quarantine,
or whatever.
Extraction. It's not the biggest release that Ubisoft has on their plate, but it's a
Hmm.
still pretty big title, pretty anticipated. They've worked on it for a little while. Like, okay, cool. We'll test it here. We'll test this, and then we'll put our Ubisoft Plus thing availability on consoles. That gives us a bigger in. I feel like that was a trade off. Like we want to put our stuff on more consoles for a wider net, but as a trade, we'll give you Rainbow Six Extraction day one on Game Pass. So them working that gives a bit of an in for their numbers and them getting boosted and stuff. And I think that works to their benefit overall because Xbox Game Pass is going to keep rolling. They're getting so much traction now, and I feel like a lot of different companies, especially with subscription services like Ubisoft and like EA, are going to want some type of adjacency to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like eventually they're gonna probably want to like get closer and closer, or might have to get closer and closer because of that association and just them getting more numbers just being on Xbox consoles. But we'll see. I I I really think
So
Ubisoft could be in a place to gain if they keep their heads on right. Literally, Corliss right here in the chat said yeah again the Ubisoft Plus subscription will still be separate. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the subscription will still be separate, but I know eventually down the line I feel like it could be an adjustment, unless it could be an adjustment to that structure if Ubisoft wants to get the game a little bit more. I know Ubisoft is Ubisoft and they gonna do what they do, but that's that just I guess something we'll find out in time.
with me, what I've noticed is that I feel like Game Pass has kind of had the Netflix effect on video games.
Hmm.
So I feel like by that I mean it's like when companies like NBC were like, you know what, sure, we'll put The Office on Netflix. Who cares? Like, sure, we'll throw that on there. It gets some more views on our show. Like, it is what it is, type of thing. But like, it's starting to show that like people really like Game Pass. People really like the subscription based service of getting games, downloading them and playing them whenever they want. So like I see like down the line what you're saying of like getting closer. I could see like down the line people being like, oh, do you want to sign up for the ultimate game? But they won't even call it Game Pass, any like
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass. They'll just call it Game Pass. It's like, do you want to
Hmm.
get the ultimate Game Pass bundle of Ubisoft plus Xbox and EA Play? We'll put it there for $30, $40 a month, and it might sell some people. Honestly, me personally, $40 a month eliminates a lot of like the budgets that I would have to set up to buy specific games. So it's like, yo, if I spend $40 a month or however much a year or whatever, like whatever bundles, whatever deals they have, it could become the new norm for a lot of people who are on a budget or just like, I can't afford to play all these games, to buy all these games outright on release. But if I'm getting it day one for $40 a month, I don't see why this would be like anybody would do it. And it's interesting because it could either be something like that where it's very collaborative and a lot of people get together, we get a good value for our money, or it could go with how Netflix and streaming services is, where people like Ubisoft, not Ubisoft, yeah, like people like Ubisoft put it on Xbox Game Pass, see how much people want to play it, and they're like, you know what? Let's just keep our subscriptions separate, and then we have 73 different video game subscription services, the way we have so many different subscription services for TV, where it's like now it's like, which one do I want to pay for, the Xbox Ubisoft, or maybe this year I just want to go with EA and Ubisoft kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of like that a la carte type thing when it comes to subscriptions, and I feel like that's where it's moving towards. And again, due to just the absolute, momentum that Xbox Game Pass has, I feel like that's something that'll be continually considered by Ubisoft going forward. I know that, again, they're going to want to hold on to as much money as they possibly can, because that's what we've seen in the past from Ubisoft. A lot of practices have been trying to, again, best suit their profit margin, and that's understandable as a business. Whatever you do, what you do. But when it comes to this, I feel like this might be an instance where they might have to break a little bit of bread and get in the game, because you're tapping into a whole nother larger audience that's only getting bigger and bigger as more people consider, oh, look at the value behind the Game Pass. Look at the value behind, okay, they're already partnering with EA, so I can get these EA games. How many casual gamers, how many families and stuff like that who are still, again, and even more increasingly with all the stuff that's going on, like being into games and being, consistent, game players and whatever on whatever different genres, they want more access to stuff for, a pretty decent price. So that's gonna be a real big consideration for them going forward. I think that on Ubisoft side, they have a lot to gain by adding on to it and jumping in. But again, that's gonna be on them, because they usually be doing some bullshit anyways. So that's
Yeah,
that's whatever they want to do. I'm not
yeah,
bothered by it anyways, because I can go buy a couple select titles from Ubisoft. I'm not too high on, their whole entire, what I'm saying, discography of
yeah.
games and stuff like that. I'm not too crazy on that stuff. I haven't played Assassin's Creed in a little bit. That's something I do want to get back into down the line, but that's just, they turn them joints into 150-hour games, and I'm like, bro, I do not have the time for that. I actually have to like disappear off the face of the earth to even like commit to them games. But that's
Yeah.
just my personal situation. I feel like I think we're gonna see a lot more of this down the line, where we'll get, more day one releases, like a what's it called, like a, yeah, Rainbow Six, or a Tom Clancy joint, not like a mainline joint, but like what is it called,
Division or something like
yeah,
that?
like
Or
the Division or Wildlands, or like a game like
oh
that
yeah,
comes
yeah, yeah,
day
yeah.
day one
Just a
cop.
Tom Clancy game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, not that, yeah, not Splinter Cell, but like those
Mhm.
offshoots and stuff like that. Like, okay, you get day one, you get a day one. I feel like that's gonna be more frequent as we go along down the road. But I feel like this is kind of like the starting point of that partnership, or at least the seeds that plant that partnership tree between Xbox and Ubisoft. Yeah, man,
Mm.
Game Pass getting crazy. You know what funny shit is? I still haven't bought it yet. I haven't. I'm about to, let me go put that dollar down today, buddy. Let me put that
I
dollar down
am
today.
I am such a, and it's funny because it's like I don't really like pushing things onto people, but every
Yeah.
time I talk about like every time that anybody asks me about games or whatever, I always look to see if it's on Game Pass because it just has
Mhm,
everything, and it's really,
mhm.
if it's like, and I mean I would love to try to put everybody on, but nobody's sponsored me yet. If they want to
Yeah.
sponsor me, I'll preach the Game Pass Bible to anybody,
Listen,
but it's
top
it's
Game
a
Pass
really.
shill, baby. Oh,
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like Xbox, what's up with it? Let me know if y'all need to sponsor somebody. Um, but it is it's a really good value. It's really hard to beat, especially if you're somebody on a budget. But also like I remember I was talking to my friend yesterday actually, and she was actually the perfect example of somebody who wouldn't need Game Pass. And I remember like talking to her, and she was like, I was like, why haven't you gotten Game Pass yet? Because me, and like all of our friends in the same group have. And she's like,
mm,
well, to be honest with you, all I play are multiplayer games. Like all I play are like Apex, League of Legends. Like I don't really play that many like solo player games. So if you're
yeah.
not somebody who's looking to
to play as single player games, or you just don't play games like that in general, or you're just somebody who's like, I really just like playing Apex, then it's really not for you. Like, because
Yeah.
again, you're paying every month. Every month that money's coming out for games,
Mhm.
and like I said before, there's so many games that some games you're definitely never gonna even touch.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
true.
it really depends on the person on like case by case basis. But I've enjoyed it, but I'm also a content creator who wants to review games and stuff. So
Mhm.
it really
Yeah,
is, if you think you need it, try it out.
yeah. I definitely agree. I agree with that one, man. Dang, man. The cult of Xbox Game Pass grows day by day.
Mm.
I don't know people on the front lines. I know them boys. Some of them PlayStation fanboys, like, yo, where's our service? We gotta get it out. Where's our
Oh my
service?
god.
We
And
gotta go. We gotta
that's
go.
a whole nother conversation of what PlayStation, what are y'all doing?
And that tug of war is gonna be hilarious because I mean, Xbox got to start running as fast as they can because once Sony start putting money towards this, bruh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
hilarious. This is gonna be hilarious. That's all I gotta say on that. Man. Anyway, speaking of Sony, we can get into a little bit of a speculation. You know what I'm saying? Put the conspiracy hats on just for a half second. So over the past couple of days, we've heard a fair amount of chatter over Naughty Dog as they took some time to speak at CES 2022 through current co-president Neil Druckmann. After a few words on the new Uncharted film and the Last of Us HBO series, Druckmann went on record to state, "We're dying to share with you the multiple game projects that we have in the works at Naughty Dog, sparking some thoughts on what could be on the way." Now, I usually love to do this shit. I'm not even gonna like cap here. I love speculating and getting my hopes up sometimes because that's what it is, unless I coach myself out of it. But this time, you know what I'm saying, I at least wanted to dip in with when, you know what I'm saying, at least talk what could be coming. I have okay, what do we expect that they're working on? What do we hope that they're working on? What do we don't hope they're working on? What you thinking?
Oh, it's so tough because there's so many good Naughty Dog games. But in reality, like, so I like Uncharted, but I feel like I've kind of been we have enough Uncharted right now. I feel like
Yes.
Jack and Daxter we haven't seen in a long, long, long time. So I don't even know if it would be good at this point because like I think it would be great, but I don't know if it. But I'm also a fan of Jack and Daxter. It might not be what we want. Um, because like Ratchet and Clank released at the same time as not Uncharted as a Jack and Daxter did. But like if you play like like the Ratchet and Clank games from when Jack and Daxter 3 was there, like they don't. I don't know how well they hold up. But like Ratchet
Yeah.
and Clank has been, they kept releasing games, so they grew
With the time, they had at least
with
one
the
in
times.
at least one in the major era, and the gameplay kind of stuck pretty consistent.
E- Exactly, and I'm not saying that Naughty Dog hasn't made a good game since Jack and Daxter because they've made Last of Us, they've made Uncharted, but it's just like what can they do? And I'm not even sure of all the IPs that Naughty Dog owns, but I would love to see Jack and Daxter because Jack and Daxter
Mm,
is like a forgotten son. I feel like, and I feel like every
yes.
game has kind of gotten some limelight or like some resurgence. Like every like PlayStation like exclusive or like big game, because even like it's funny because Charles is talking about Sly Cooper. It's funny to me because Sly Cooper got a fourth game on the
Hmm.
PS3 or
Yeah.
PS4, I think it was. I can't
Yeah.
remember which one it was.
Thieves in time.
Yeah, yeah. And that was in my opinion like a little resurgence of something that we didn't
Hmm.
get we thought we weren't going to see, and we weren't going to see Sly Cooper game again, and then they were like, "Yo, here's it in. Here it is again." And it's a good game. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Mm,
But it's one of those things where it's like Jack and Daxter is really the one franchise that we haven't seen anything from it. Like besides like a remaster. And
facts.
like
And
Parappa the Rapper too. But even then, like
man,
those
fuck
are
off,
those
rap
were
the rap.
well, the rhythm games, it just I don't know how much love we got for rhythm games anymore in this day and age.
Listen,
I love them, but I don't know if the
hey
kids
yo,
be fucking with the rhythm.
hey yo, I remember I had a free version of that one game, Patapon. I be sitting there
Yeah,
on the damn video, pata.
I streamed
I
that
said,
game and it
"Oh
was really
shoot!" I
good
said, "I'm in
until
there."
it got
Hold
really hard.
up. Yo,
Fun
I don't know
game.
what the difficulty spike was. Oh my gosh.
It's
Yes,
nuts. It's nuts.
yes, yes. It's a lot, but we just gotta see, man. I think in general, Naughty Dog's they've got what's it called? They've got Last of Us, they've got Uncharted, they've got Crash Bandicoot, they got Jack and Daxter,
Mm,
and they got Parappa the Rapper. That's the major ones that I'm looking at and I can see right here. There's some really old joints from like the 80s and stuff like that. I'm not counting those. Niggas not caring about Math Jam, bro. Niggas not caring about.
There's one guy right now who's mad at you. He's like, how dare he speak about Math Jam?
Facts. I've been waiting 30 plus years for Math Jam. What's wrong with you? I said, all right, relax, bro. Relax. Take it easy.
No offense.
Yeah. But what I expect is some type of continuation of the Uncharted series, as much to my dismay. I'm actually a fan of the series, but I really think that it's been a lot of let's say overrating of the Uncharted series. Let's say that. Let's put that out there.
Good talk your shit, King.
I am a fan of the Uncharted series. I am a fan. I've enjoyed every single one. Now, do I think it's the greatest game series of all time? I don't think it even cracks that top 15 list. Probably not even 20. I'm gonna keep it a stat. Possibly, but it's fine. It's fine. Let me talk, bro. Let me talk.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm just like, we don't need an Uncharted like every other year, bro. Like at some point, it feels, the same. Peacemaker, cookie cutter. It feels like the same joint. Ever since we hit at 3, I was like, okay, cool. This is pretty good. I like this. Cool. As soon as we hit 4, I was like, oh, shoot, 4 is here. Oh, and then I'm like, didn't really feel anything. Then you had the Lost Legacy joints. I haven't personally played Lost Legacy. Apparently, it's decent, but just the saturation of the entire series. I'm like, yo, you need to put some space in between these types of games, I think, because they're essentially a lot of the same gameplay loop with a couple things mixed in, and you need to have time to really develop a story that's compelling and really hard hitting around that. You can't just like drop something like every 2 years or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that needs way more space in between entries, especially now. You know what I'm saying? Where you're going to a space where you have a lot of different heavy hitters, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Like you and Tomb Raider was right there. You was doing the same thing. Y'all probably gonna drop around the same window again. So you got to come correct when it comes to that stuff. And again, people are raving like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the be all end all of gaming, and this is the best joint ever. When I'm like, bro, this don't even hit close. And I love this series. I actually really do. I like all the historical backgrounds and stuff and how that connects. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I watch National Treasure. I love those movies. Say what you want. I like that joint. I like Uncharted. But the fact that that's being overrated so much, I already expect in my heart that it's going to be another iteration of this game. Probably going to be like an older man. Sully might die. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be Nathan Drake's daughter or something like that, or their kid. I believe they had a daughter somewhere at the end.
Yeah, they had a kid.
Yeah, they had. I think it was a daughter, but you know what I'm saying? They'll probably
Spoiler
follow
alert
that
for a game that's like 16 years old.
Yeah. If you ain't seen or played that at this point, bro, y'all bugging. Y'all are bugging. Unless y'all like, you know what I'm saying, Xbox Shields, and you was never gonna do it anyways. But I can already expect some type of next iteration of Uncharted coming through. I expect that 100%. Will it be good? I really do hope so, but you never know.
I agree with you. I think that so first off, I don't think that all 3 games should have been on the PS3. I don't think Uncharted 1 through 3 should have been on the PS3. I think they should have spaced it. I agree with you. I think they should have spaced it out because I feel like they need time to make it more fun, really. Let's just say what it is. Like at the end of the day, it's a third-person shooter and it's fun, but like how can you change third-person shooters so much in a realistic setting? Because you can't have him flying because it's Nathan Drake. He's just a regular guy, platforming, doing like the Indiana Jones thing. I think it's a fun series, but I also agree with you that I feel like we could use a break. We could use a break. And that's what I really appreciated about Last of Us is that it was a Naughty Dog game that was different from the Uncharted thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And while again, it felt both of them felt completely different. Last of Us, I do feel like there will be some iteration of it down the line, but what I expect in the coming years of what they were talking about in this story about how Neil Druckmann said that projects are coming, I feel like where is the Last of Us 2 multiplayer? I'll go pick that joint up again. I'll do it for the multiplayer. Where is the multiplayer? Because that was the most fire thing to me about The Last of Us. The last factions was ridiculously good, like unexpectedly good from top to bottom, and I wanted that. I want that. So I expect them to have something on that project at some point being included down the line. Maybe standalone, maybe it's tacked on as DLC. I don't know. But I think that's going to be an expectation that might come from that.
If we don't get like a Jack and Daxter reboot, I would actually enjoy a Last of Us spin-off, like something that has nothing to do with Ellie. That's what I wanted for Last of Us 2. I wanted nothing to do with Ellie. I wanted something completely, and I wanted it to be like an open world survival kind of thing. I thought that would be cool. But again, that's another franchise where like if we get 2 more of them within this generation, actually no, if we get a new one. What? Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
no,
Like
no,
slow,
you're
like
right. No, you're right. I'm like, yeah, take it easy.
like,
Hold on.
if we get too many, if we get too many of them, it's going to become like saturated, and that's why I kind of feel like we all really like Insomniac, and nobody really has anything negative to say about Insomniac, is because like when it's not Spider-Man, it's Ratchet and Clank, and they're 2 very
Facts.
different games that are
And
very
they're-
fun.
And their spacing in general for games has always been pretty decent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never gotten, in my recollection, you never gotten too many of, you know, one joint right there. Just hold that for the rest of, you know what I'm saying, year on year on year. Like, they take time with a lot of their projects. So, you know, you don't hear it from them. But, you know, I understand there might be a little bit of like pressure being one of the major flagships as Naughty Dog is for Sony and stuff like that. But I need them to go revisit Jack and Daxter. I need them to go visit. Oh, also to backtrack one point, I also think they're probably gonna do Last of Us remake, the original remake, which I still don't care for, because I'm like, yo, bro, it came out mad recently. Wasn't it like 2013, 2014?
Are they remastering it a 3rd time? I mean,
think
a
they're
2nd
gonna,
time?
I think I heard a lot of rumors that they were gonna do a full remake of the first game, and I'm like, bro, it's not even that far away in our memories. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a PS3. It was a PS3 joint.
It's a good game. It's not that good. It's not needing to be on 3 different generations. It is
You know what
it
I'm
is
saying?
not. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto 5. Great game, amazing game. It doesn't need to be on 6 different consoles. We don't need that. We can move forward. We need to stop holding on to the past.
Facts. I agree. And then if you are pulling from the past, you need to make sure that you create an experience that is very, very tailored to today's times, and it's not completely hinging on nostalgia. You got to have some quality that fits today's standards right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't just tack on some old shit to some new paint and be like, yo, bro, we here. You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. It's a remaster. You know, like, no, bro, I'm not going for that. I know after a while that joint wears off quickly to people. So you guys got to really come with it when you know, when it comes to either pulling for the past or setting up for the future with certain titles and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the only things I expect. What I want is a completely new IP. I want something completely different from them. I don't want anything that has to do with survival shooters, survival horrors, like, you know what I'm saying, like that. It could be third person, but I want something very, very different. I want, you know, them to go in a completely different direction. Whatever IP it is, I want to see how that looks. And if it's good, I'm gonna applaud them. You know what I'm saying? And if I get what I wish for, it's a different IP, but it's wild and it's weird, I'm like, all right, damn, all right, you got me there. But I do want a new IP from them. I kind of expect that'll be like the very, very, you know, latter end of their projects that they're working on. But I still think something will come from that in terms of a new project that we haven't seen anything before.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, Naughty Dog, man, keep cooking up. We'll see y'all soon. I'm pretty sure I got something for us in the tuck for this year or next. And we might see you at you know what I'm saying, E3, as in the next topic here. So E3 has officially announced, the ESA have officially announced earlier this week that E3 will be going on an online only format for this year's proceedings. Citing concerns of COVID health risks, this would be the 3rd year in a row where the platform has been adjusted, with E3 2020 being scrapped completely and E3 2021 being strictly online as well. So, you know, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but like, dog, where was niggas showing up? But anyways, how do you feel about E3 going online for 2022?
I mean, like, I think we're getting close to the final years of E3. I hope I'm wrong, because I really wanted, when I was younger, I really wanted to go to an E3 showing so bad. Like, that was like one of my biggest like dreams, was to be like, oh man, I would love to be there. But like, with Sony pulling out the years ago that it did, with EA pulling out, with so many people pulling out, and now it's gonna be online, which no problem. Like, I don't have an issue with it being online, because again, I watched it online all my life. So like, oh, nobody's gonna be able to show up. I'm like, cool, I didn't have tickets anyway. It doesn't matter to me. But it's just like, I just like, basically what I would love for this year's E3, since it's gonna be just online, Yo, just show me all the trailers and the gameplay stuff without showing me the cringy stuff in between. Just show me what we came for. That's all I want from E3. Like that's
Mhm.
all I want. You can't even do it live, so it doesn't matter if we have like the people showing up and doing the jokes and being like, "Hey guys, look at me. My name is blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Let me talk to you about this game that I have nothing to show for." Like, don't don't even if you don't got anything to show for the game, don't even mention the game. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about things that aren't here, that don't exist yet. So um let's just let's cut all the BS. Let's have the presentations going back to back. It could be split up against across the 3 days. I don't mind that at all. But like don't make me sit through like people talking about games that already released and how well they're
Yeah.
doing. And they're great games, awesome games. I love them. But if you're not dropping DLC or anything, you're just saying we're doing really well with this game. Here's a cool skin that's gonna be in Fortnite. I don't really care. Like just show me the stuff that we need to know about.
Hey, but my man Jay in the comment section said Fortnite concert at E3, baby. You know what time it is.
It's oh my god. Here, let me play you a song from a game that is already out. Like, come, I don't need to see the whole performance, yo. Just show me the trailers if we're gonna talk about a new sequel. But come on now,
Bro,
let's keep it moving.
it's just a lot. And my thing is, I understand there is COVID health concerns, which is a valid, you know what I'm saying, a valid reasoning for why you're not even showing up. But
Mm-hmm.
you guys were already, you know, like E3 has already been gutted since years before. Like three, like two, like three or four, to be honest. Again, and it started like the wave picked up massively when PlayStation was like, "Yeah, bro, we're good. We're just gonna do state of plays. Catch y'all later." You know, and I feel like that's already cut a lot out of the prestige and honor of being at E3. It sucks for me too, bro. Like, yo, we were all there, you know, watching E3 year
Yeah.
after year after year from our homes and stuff like that, and seeing all the crazy, you know what I'm saying, the shit that was dropping and being announced, and like again the magic around that event, and it's gone because everybody's doing their own thing, and even past certain platforms and developers leaving to start their own shows and do their own updates year on year. Of course, you know, Treehouse, State of Plays, the Xbox events and whatnot. You got Jeff Keighley. You got the you know what I'm saying, the Mountain Dew and Dorito Pope. He on your neck with Summer Game Fest, and he's pulling
Yeah.
contacts from left, right, and center all around the world. This man got pulled, so he's
Yeah.
pulling more exclusives and stuff than y'all by himself. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's massively whittled down, I guess, the consideration of E3 around this time. It's like, yo, it's not even. It didn't even feel like E3 You can't even dub it E3 season anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like you can't even dub it that no more. I remember every summer I used to look forward to it and say, "Listen, man, I get through the school year. I'm cool. I sit down for a couple weeks in May, and then once June hit, it's E3 season. We here. I can't even say that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we all just wait for the next major update from each individual. You know what I'm saying? Studio, platform, major contributor, or whatever, and we just keep it pushing. But in terms of E3, man, what are they gonna even pull? You know what I'm saying, that we
Yeah.
won't see at a Summer Game Fest? That's my big thing. What are they even gonna show that they can lock down for sure exclusive E3? That's not gonna be a Summer Game Fest game that Jeff Keighley's already scooped, because that man's planning like a madman. This man probably got hella exclusives locked in for the next Game Award. So,
And
you know,
it's really annoying because it's funny because you said Jeff Keighley has like the Summer Games Fest, and I'm just like, yeah, he has the Summer Games Fest, and anything that's gonna get announced in winter, he already also has because of Game
Game
Awards. So
Awards.
it's like, what are you guys gonna announce? And you're also playing so close to his territory. It's like it's nuts because it's like I feel like they weren't fighting for it as much as like we would want them to.
Yep.
And it used to
And
be like it used to be. I remember it used to be like Bethesda, Xbox, Sony, like those, and then like Nintendo was like the last day.
Mhm.
And I remember it would always be
Nintendo,
those three.
Square
But now that
Enix.
yeah, but now that freaking Bethesda is Xbox, it's basically X Xbox. I guess Square Enix, and we all know how Square Enix presentation go. They can either drop some really crazy stuff. Actually, no.
nothing.
Most Square Enix presentations are like, here's all the cool stuff that we're making, like the little like
Yeah.
side-scrolling RPGs
little-
and like stuff that you like stuff that you don't really care about that much. And
Yeah.
then they'll release like the Final Fantasies at the PlayStation review.
They'll drop literally they'll drop a big
Yeah.
bomb at PlayStation stuff, and then they'll save other stuff like for their, like, like all the smaller shit for their
Yeah.
platform. I'm like, damn, bruh, you didn't even
So
say
why
nothing
would-
for
what's the
yourself.
point of that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me
I gotta
first.
put me first, Lucius. I gotta put me first, Sony. But then Square Enix is like, hey guys, we're putting new mounts into Final Fantasy 14. It's like, okay, that's cool. I waited an hour to see that, and then it's like PlayStation reveals like new Kingdom Hearts.
Facts.
Like, all right.
Facts. And I'm like, damn, why didn't they say that for themselves? I'm doing backflips for
All right.
PlayStation, bro. What y'all doing?
Yo, facts.
Wow. Also, a side note, you know what I'm saying, this year is the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think
Yes,
the
it is.
35th anniversary of 25th or 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy this year as well. 25th,
Final
35th.
Fantasy.
One of those numbers. One of those numbers. I think the Final Fantasy franchise in general is like turning 35. I don't know what it is, but I know they got some stuff locked. So I got to catch up with everything Kingdom Hearts related at some point this year. I'm back. I got to get back in my bag because you know what I'm saying. Aha, we in that bitch. But
Yeah, I think it's this year. This year's the 35th anniversary.
Yep, see 35th and 20th. So I know they have some stuff in the tuck. But where will it go? Most likely it will be at Summer Game Fest. You know what I'm saying? Or most likely it'll be its own separate announcement. It'll be its own separate presentation. It's sad to see how E3 has gone down, down the drain basically, and it's lost a lot of its clout. I feel like maybe a little bit in part incompetence, in part bad circumstances with COVID and everything, and it's tough. But everybody moves forward. Everybody gotta move forward, and if you don't adapt to the times properly, you know what I'm saying, you're doomed to stay behind the past. So it's tough, man. I'm a poor virtual 40-ounce out for you, man. Shout out to the E3, man. Yeah, we hardly knew ye, but y'all still going on this year. My bad. Anyways.
Yeah.
We can move over to a quick smaller topic, man. The PSVR 2 was announced. So this week during CES, PlayStation announced the next iteration of its VR venture with PSVR 2, a new system boasting frame rates of 90 to 120 frames, controller tracking, sensory feedback, including enhanced eye tracking capability to ensure pure immersion. Next to that PSVR 2 announcement, they dropped an announcement that Gorilla X Fire Sprite have been working on a dedicated VR entry into the Horizon series named Horizon Call of the Mountain. How you feeling about this? VR? Are you ready to tap back in? You ready to put on that down?
I like the concept of VR. I still think we're like 10 years out from it being viable. I don't know. Like, for example, today I got off a stream and went to rest for an hour before the podcast because my eyes hurt from seeing all these screens and having all these lights. So it's like, I don't know if I'm super excited to get a full-length game and having this VR headset on my face. VR is stupid fun, don't get me wrong. And I think PSVR is awesome to have because of all the peripherals, I hated pretty much all of them, but VR headsets are actually the coolest peripherals out of all of them. They're the best of what we used to hate. Do I really want to buy all these extra controllers to do the motion controls? We all hated PlayStation motion controls. That's why they pop off. But if VR is different from all of that, because it could work. It could easily work. You could just have a VR headset with a controller in your hand and it'll still be cool. I like that they're continuing with the PSVR because I felt like of all the third party or accessories, it was probably, in my opinion, the best working one. And I don't know. I would love when it gets more accessible, when you can tell me, hey, this VR headset is not worth the price of a computer. It's gonna be more important. I know the Oculus is $300, but again, I ain't got $300 for a headset. That's a lot of money. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel that. I agree with you though. It's the time thing. They still have a lot to iron out, man. You have to it's the frame rate mainly, you know what I'm saying, getting people, sick, motion sickness and all stuff like that. That has to be an industry-wide standard, minimum 100, not even more than 120 frames consistently on everything to even be considered for you know what I'm saying, a market-wide use or a bigger drop and an expansion in a market, man. That has to be straight down packed because if a bunch of people getting motion sickness, nobody's gonna want to play that shit. So that's already one off. Two, there's the amount of game support is getting better, but I feel like it's kind of sporadic a little bit.
Yeah.
You see Half-Life Alyx, or Alex or whatever it's called. You see that they call the mountain this Horizon entry for VR. It's getting better. It's the Resident Evil 4 remake and stuff like that. Those hodgepodges, but until you get actual more consistent, bigger I guess outflow of projects based in VR, that's also gonna set it back a little bit. And it's just the time frame. I just feel like everything in total overall is gonna be a few years out. I feel like I wouldn't say 10. I say a good 6 years out before it becomes super super viable. And it's okay, cool. We've solved a lot of these problems just before the next console generation. I think this is that'd be that sweet spot for that. But in terms of PSVR 2, my personal preference, I'm not putting that shit. I got glasses, bro. I don't even got my
That's what
contacts
another thing
yet.
is like
I'm not
we have
doing
big
that.
glasses. Like
Facts.
how does it fit with me? You know, and it's like, oh, do you have contacts? Fuck no, I hate contacts. Why would I wear them?
I'm
And
not
it's
trying to
like, is
stab
VR
my
not for?
earlobes trying to fit this in, bro. I have enough trouble
Yeah,
putting my headphones on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
nah, bro.
It's
I personally can't go for it. The gamer in me would love to try, but I know logistically, you know what I'm saying. It just ain't going. It's not
yeah.
going to work. It's not going to work.
I've done it and I've had it like I've taken my glasses off and I've done it and I did it for like maybe 20, 30 minutes and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I was playing super hot.
Mhm.
Phenomenal game to play on VR.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
Mhm.
But after a while I was like, all right, let me put my glasses back on because like and also like I don't like if I wanted to do VR here, I wouldn't be able to because I just don't have the space for it too. That's another thing is that like you gotta have space.
Yeah,
You
you gotta have
need
a space,
actual space because you're gonna knock stuff over if you don't.
bro. I remember this one video. It wasn't even VR. I think he was just doing some UPS driver was doing Wii boxing, and he hooked this little kid. I'm like, bro, if they're doing this without any like visual obstruction in their real world environment,
Mhm.
what do you think is gonna happen when they put on VR headsets? If people was literally knocking down TVs and breaking a whole bunch of home setups with Wii remotes, what y'all think gonna happen when you put the headset on? You know what I'm saying? The spacing is a big issue. That's also a big issue. So it's just a lot of stuff that they gotta address, and I think that's again still. I think 6 to 7 years. You say 10 years out from right now before they really get viable and really become more widespread. Just across gaming. So you got some work to do. You got some work to do. But yeah, PSVR
Yeah.
2 is out there. We see you. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. I take my glass off to see you. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, switching gears a little bit, talking about some movies, and namely The Flash moving at the speed of light to stop WB's momentum, question mark. So this week a couple of news websites dropping the status of the DC extended universe and the Flash movie. Just from what we heard, a couple of different things. First and foremost, Michael Keaton is set to be in both the Flash movie and the upcoming Batgirl HBO Max series, so he's gonna have an extended role, not just a couple cameo minutes in the Flash film and in an actual series. And there have been major rumors that have sprung up that the events of the Flash film will essentially erase all the events of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and the Justice League as Ben Affleck returns to seemingly his last run with the Cape and Cowl for this iteration of Batman. So essentially, they're trying to get rid of the Snyderverse if these rumors are correct. So while Flash actor Ezra Miller tried to deny these rumors, I can't shake the feeling that there might be something more to this. How are you feeling?
I hope that it does erase the Snyderverse. Not because I don't like the Snyderverse, but if we're not gonna have him making any more movies, then it doesn't matter if it's canon or not. Like not that it's not canon, but like for example, if they do not to spoil any like Marvel movies or anything like that, but like with the multiverse, like if they change stuff, like you know how like if let's say in the new multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange like changes the world and everybody's name is Martin, like that doesn't mean that before that happened, all that shit doesn't matter. Like, no, now
Yeah.
this shit is just Martin. So, like, if they were to be like, yo, the Flash going back in time or whatever the fuck, changing the entire universe and now everything is different, I think it's fine. Like, it's not like we're gonna forget about the Snyder cut. It's not like the Snyder cut isn't gonna be on HBO Max. I think it's fine mostly because if he's not gonna make any more movies, we gotta keep going. And if y'all want to keep going, if they want to stop making these live action DC movies and focus on the animated, hey, don't let me be the one to stop you. But that's not gonna happen. So if we gotta keep going, we might as well keep going with new shit because it's not like the other stuff is gonna matter since a lot of the people who are in those movies don't want to do the movies anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I personally have reservations about this. Excuse me. Whew. I personally have reservations about this just because Snyder built a lot with the Snyder Cut, and it put us in a really advanced place in terms of DC stuff. If you think about the end of the Snyder Cut, and if you haven't said it, if something slip out, I'm sorry. I should have watched this like a year ago. My fault. But we're given that ending spot we were at, it kind of started to open up a lot of different stuff, a lot of different lanes in terms of story. Like, okay, dang, Darkseid really like out here. He gonna pull up. Now it opens up the whole lane for all these new heroes to show up. You know what I'm saying? John was in the cut. I don't know why the hell he didn't even show up earlier, but he's there. Green Lantern was supposedly out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was John Stewart, Green Lantern. So it was like a lot of stuff was basis. And then the nightmare sequences with like, with team Batman, Joker, stuff like that. I don't want to give too much off, but there was a lot of stuff set up that I personally wanted to see, thought through and expanded upon. And it feels like we kind of hit that hard stop. And I feel like that's been the plight of WB and the DCEU. It's just stop, start. Let's figure this out. Let's go rewrite this and put it all back. Let's try and rust this up and put it together in time. And it hasn't had a consistent run. You haven't let it run its course enough to, garner enough attention and garner enough continuity to be like, okay, cool. This is a really good live cinematic alternative to the Marvel Universe right now. I don't think it's gotten that chance. And, maybe they're starting after this. Maybe they're starting with the Flash movie and they're going to retcon all this stuff. But I still feel like it sucks because the Snyder Cut and what he was trying to do was that good start, in my opinion. Or it was a start, in my opinion, to expand on a lot of stuff. And we're back at square one again. We're back at square one. And it sucks, man, because I'm like, damn, that's crazy for y'all. I mean, I'm be watching this Marvel stuff in the meantime while I get it together. But you know what I'm saying? Do your thing.
Yeah.
But it's just, for me, I want these DC movies to really, really pick up steam, and especially, specifically, continuity and consistency over like a good 10-year run. I need them to have that constant momentum. I need them to snowball. I can't have the stop, start stuff. I want them to snowball. They have, they have Blue Beetle coming down the line. They have the Batgirl HBO series. They have all these little stuff here and there. I'm hoping that builds on each other instead of just being its own separate things and out. I think the Batman that's coming out in March is its own thing. And
Robert Pattinson, I don't think it's I think it's like the Joker, where it's like it's not supposed to be attached to shit.
Yeah, which is like, damn, that also kind of sucks. But I'm like, I don't even mind that, because don't even touch that. Don't touch. Let me just reiterate. DCEU, don't even touch that one, bro. Leave that be. That's gonna be crack cook fire on every day, twice on Sunday. Please leave that alone. Don't touch that at all. Leave it in its own pocket universe, dimension, whatever you want to call it. Don't touch that shit. Thank you. And then for everything else, I just hope they pick up momentum. But for those side projects like Joker and like Robert Pattinson's The Batman, they can keep doing what they're doing. But as of the DCEU, there's just a lot of ground to cover. A lot of ground that they gotta cover. Man. Damn, man, they need to put some movies together, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, it's. At least we got Young Justice. Like, that's every time I see I'm just like, all right, cool. At least I got animated movies to look forward to.
Facts. I'm just turn on animated movies, man. Okay. Man. We're gonna move forward to this topic. This has been a bigger one over the past week or so. It's the great NFT wave, ladies and gentlemen. It has approached gaming's front gate, and we are here to talk about it. So I've had a few big stories this past week. I want to go over all the major ones and kind of go backtrack and break them down. So first and foremost, the Square Enix president, Yosuke Matsuda, expressed great interest and motivation to develop in-game currencies and NFTs for projects moving forward. There's a couple quotes in the article that we'll get in touch with. The second major one was Castlevania NFTs, which is Konami was dropping basically anniversary NFTs and put them up for auction for the 35th year of Castlevania's release, and they looks like they're going all in on it because it's Konami. And the third was actually kind of in the opposite direction, is where Sega's refusing to have NFTs in games. Well, in some way, in one way or another, but they've said they've been receptive to the market, and if they perceived NFTs as simple money making by the fans, I would like to, they said they would like to make a decision not to go forward with any NFTs in their project. So let's backtrack a little bit to Square Enix. Number one, Square Enix. Let's look at you guys. So the co-president, of course, Yosuke Matsuda, he had a couple of comments at the top of the week on Monday. He seemed really, really, really ecstatic about NFTs and the future that they might have in gaming in general. He had some quotes out here in Bloomberg that stated, "I realized that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations toward these new trends. However, I believe that there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean to help make the game more exciting. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people." Now, what do you think went? Go ahead.
What? That's just so stupid. I love how he started off by saying, "I heard a lot of our community doesn't want this, but like you shouldn't say but. There shouldn't be a but there. You should be like, oh, a lot of our fans don't want this, so we will not do this." Um, he said, and then and like for what you just told me, he then goes on to say like he wants to. People are willing to contribute. I just don't understand. Like a good way of making fans contribute to your games would be allowing those games to have mods in them. Like that would be a good way of allowing like having mod support for games. That would be a great way of having people contribute to your game and bring life into your game. Um, selling selling pictures of shit just isn't it, or like selling digital models of like cloud. Just what is that contributing to the game? Besides making you money, besides making the company that they made the NFT in the game money, outside of that, how is it contributing? Because for all that, you could just have a cash app, and I could just give you $3 if you really want. If it's that bad at the Square Enix shop that y'all need to make more money making methods outside of like making video games, which is the purpose of the company.
This is very, 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 very alarming that an increasing number of executives at these top companies are looking very, very uh intently and very, very eagerly at NFT options for gaming experiences going forward. Now, the general topic of NFTs, I believe we talked about it on a previous episode. For the use of artists and stuff like that, I have no problem with them. You know what I'm saying? They want to make money off their art, they want to do that stuff. But when we apply it to gaming and specifically the gaming experience, this is where I have to draw the line. I don't touch that shit, man. People are already paying, $60, $70 for their games. People are already paying $20, $30 for DLC over maybe a given season, even maybe another 60 on top of that, given a DLC season or whatever. People are paying maybe an extra $100 to $200 on cosmetics and skins and whatever other add-ons that you might have that are, apart from any DLC season or regular game base game purchase. There's already a lot of money being put into that, and it's even more than that, time and keeping you, what I'm saying, within that circle of, relevance and you're getting plugged all over the place, commercials, blah blah blah. You're doing a lot, and the people that are supporting your games are doing a lot for you. To come in and just say, hey, listen, to make this game even better, we're gonna add a lot of, payment elements where you can put your real life money in this joint to buy maybe some exclusive stuff that maybe some other people can't have. You completely change gameplay loops. You completely change development processes with the concept of making more money. And that's where this shit goes left. That's where I can't stand for that shit. That just makes no sense to me in the pure basis of making the best game that you can. I don't think this is a conception that anybody in their right mind has as a developer on the front line saying, "Oh, how can we make this game the best game possible? How can we make this game the best game possible for us? What is our vision?" And I don't think people who take the seeds of games in their infancy, looking at the story, looking at that, and think, "Oh shoot, let me drop an NFT in this hole. I think that'll work. I think that'll be gold, bruh. That's fire." That doesn't. I don't think that happens. I don't think that really happens at all. So the fact that I've seen Yves Guillemot from Ubisoft talk about this. I've seen Matsuda from Square Enix talk about this. I've seen a couple more people talk about specifically including it into gameplay loops and into gameplay strategy initiative. This is where I'm like, bro, y'all gotta cut that shit, bro. This is where we gotta speak with our wallets and really stomp down hard on this. Don't put that stuff near any of these video gaming experiences. I'm serious. I like this is something that can't stand, because I feel like if there's not enough momentum pushed towards this, or at least not enough stronger, like even stronger, they already know there's already enough like discourse that's negative against NFTs and stuff in gaming experiences specifically. It needs to be even stronger at some point, because I feel like they're gonna try something. Ubisoft's already tried something. Ubisoft's already gearing up to try something. You know what I'm saying? Like once they try something, it needs to be shot down immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be very, very vocally understood that this cannot happen. This can't be accepted. In the gaming space, I don't want it here. My
Yeah.
personal opinion, when it comes down to the specific instance of NFTs in a gaming sphere, in a gaming experience, in a development process, keep that shit away.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That was impassioned in a motherfucker. Damn, bro. Give me my Stephen A, bro. Blasphemous. Oh, I'm dead, bro. I'm dead, bro. But yeah, listen, it's just like who really who woke up in the morning? What part of the gaming market really woke up in the morning and said, "Yo, you know what would make this game fire? You know what would make Minecraft fire? If I could have the only diamond pickaxe in this side of the Mississippi, that would be fire. That would be heat." Nobody says that. Nobody. Go ahead.
It
Go ahead.
like it would be cool if if it was a cosmetic that I could buy from Square Enix that goes into every game, like that'd be kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like when you think about the way NFTs make money and things like that, and how expensive they actually are, because they're not cheap, depending on the price. Also not even just depending on the price, but buying them, like it's a whole. I've looked into it. It is a lot more money than you would think to just own one NFT. And then you want to combine with that all the already perverted like the only way I can think of is perverted ways that they make money off of us now. It's just really just feels like y'all just trying to take advantage of shit, and I'm just not surprised. I'm not surprised that the CEOs and the millionaires are like, yeah, we will. I think that this is going to be a great idea for gamers. It's like, motherfuckers, you don't even know what's a great idea. You wouldn't know. A lot of the CEOs and the big executives, they don't know what a good game would be if it bit them in the ass, because they don't play games. That's why they're the CEO and the executive producers, and they're making all this money, because they're not playing games. They don't know what's going on. They see numbers and they see performance. That's all they care about. And when they see NFTs and they're like, you're telling me I can get somebody to make a digital piece of art and then we could sell it, and every time that piece of art gets sold, we also get a kickback on it. This seems like an amazing idea. Very, very little labor, a lot of possible reward at the end. And that's why I don't need it in there, because I don't think they don't know. It's not going to impact anything, because they don't know the fuck they're talking about. It's just going to be more ways of making money.
Yep. And if it's not coming from a place of how can we objectively make the gameplay loop as best as it possibly can be, this feels completely left of center. This feels like, yo, what does this even have to do with us playing a game better? This doesn't make, and it's not a ubiquitous, you know what I'm saying, ubiquitous change for everybody. This is, oh, cool. If you got the most money, you can get this stuff that nobody else has. You know what I'm saying? You pay us a premium, you can have this one. Cool. I'm like, it doesn't serve any purpose other than gives the company more money, and that's where that's where it's unnecessary to the gaming experience. That's where it's unnecessary. That's where it's superfluous. That's where it shouldn't even be. So NFTs is a weird one, man. But again, on the flip side, Castlevania, they did their own thing. I can skip them because Konami's literally Konami. So I'm
Konami literally makes pachinko machines. That is a big part of their money making machine. They literally make gambling machines. Not surprised that they want NFTs. I will say this though, if I had the money, I would buy a Castlevania NFT, because I'm a huge fan of Castlevania, but not because I don't agree with this whatsoever. I just like to say, like, yeah, I just bought it just because I always wanted to own an NFT just to see what the process was like, because I always feel like I talk about it without having experienced it myself, and that was like something that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I also think that it is a shitty business practice. Don't be like me. Do not buy game NFTs, because it is just not. Konami's there to make money. Like they're another company where it's like, we're here for the money, very blatantly, right in our face with it. So that's why we haven't seen a good Castlevania game in a minute, but we see a bunch of Castlevania merch.
That's real interesting, huh? That's real interesting, man.
And just think about all the stuff that they try to sell you on Castlevania, but an actual Castlevania game.
Y'all lucky y'all Netflix series saving y'all punk asses. Boy, I tell you that.
No,
shit,
honestly,
I tell you that shit right there. But it's just very, very interesting on that part. But again, on a positive note, at least slightly positive. So yeah, Sega were like, yo, if people don't want this shit, we're not gonna put it in there. You know what I'm saying? Of course, every company's gonna go through this thought process because that they're them and they want to make money and more profit. But if their fans are actually saying, yo, do not do this. If the market is saying, yo, bro, we don't want this, Sega was like, yo, we don't have to really do this, man. Again, the quote from their CEO Haruki Satomi, he was like, listen, if it's perceived as simple money making, I would like to make a decision to not proceed. So there's actually some people who are very receptive and understanding that it will muddy their name as well as, you know, muddy their experiences if they're really like if they want to put some stuff like that in there. So thank goodness there's some rationality and some empathy with the gamers who are playing these things day in day out and supporting these people that understand like, okay, cool, this is probably a line we shouldn't cross because that's not what they want.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm dead ass serious, bro. If I have to literally pay money, if I have to win an auction, if I have to win an auction to win a Keyblade in the next Kingdom Hearts game, I'm suplexing somebody, bro.
It's not.
We gonna have to talk. We gonna have to
It's
talk.
not.
I'm on it. Like, no, bruh. I'm not paying no damn extra money for no Keyblades in the auction, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I love this
Not
series
even.
to death. But if we doing that, nah, bro. I'm not going down that road. Nah, son.
Not even just that, but the way some NFT websites work, you have to actually pay to make the bid because of like how gas and
Mhm.
Ethereum. It's a very tricky thing. So it's like you wouldn't even just be paying money to possibly get a Keyblade. You would be paying money just to have the chance to.
Just
And
to
that's
get
why it's
in.
like such a big money making thing. Because like the person who made the Keyblade, which would be Square Enix, would be getting all of that money.
Yep.
And that's why we don't need to give them all that money because they need to, instead of making Keyblades, they need to make full games. That's how you
Right.
can get my money is
Hey.
making full games.
Hey, listen, if you just like focus on, the development process and making the best game you possibly can, I will give you all of my money anyway. Like, I'll
You know,
give it to you. I'll give you
it's
what you
not
want.
hard.
Like, it's really a simple process. Why'd you have to add all the bullshit? You don't even need that. Just make a good, like, for me, my personal situation, make the next Kingdom Hearts game crazy. Make it crazy, and I'm gonna give you all my damn money. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to
Yeah.
add all these NFT or this special stuff like that. Nah, cut it out. Give me Kingdom Hearts 4, make it crack, and I'm here. Take it, take my money, take all of it. But
Thanks.
the struggle wages on with these damn NFTs, man. We'll get to that at another point, man. Since we got a little bit more time, man, that's all the major topics. I did want to break down a couple of things, man. I did a video on this actually last week, just before the new year kicked off, but I wanted to at least get your take on a couple of games that you're excited for this year, 2022. It's gonna be a big, 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 big year for games, man. For people that might not see it, all the things that got backlogged, all the things that got pushed back, delayed, all the announcements that we don't even know about, like Jedi Fallen Order 2, that are coming out the woodwork for 2022. It's going to be a ridiculous year for gaming, and I'm curious to know what are you looking forward to when we can go back and forth on what they are and why you looking out for them. I'll let you go first and rattle one off. I'm trying to pick some new ones that I didn't choose before that I went through last week.
So with me, I actually made a list and I put it in my Discord so that if anybody who is in my Discord is like wondering what games I'm going to be playing, or like, oh, I wonder if he has that game. I update this list on whether I own them or not. Well, I need to because there's some games here that I didn't buy, but I'm gonna go with, out of all the games that I listed on here, I'm excited for Pokemon, but I don't know if I'm excited for Pokemon necessarily. Like, I think the game's gonna be cool, but it's more of like I'm excited because that's the first game coming out this year that I'm gonna buy, a big major release. But Sifu is for sure up there. It seems very, very good, and it seems exactly what I want. It is a single player game. It's reasonably priced. It just has everything.
Yeah.
It has everything going for it. It's just an honestly like a solid game. Like, it just looks like it's gonna be really, really fun, and it comes out pretty soon. So I will be able to see if it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Listen. I already made my spiel about Sifu. I'll say it again. That's my most anticipated game this year. I don't care right now. All the other ones can go. I'm dead ass serious. Like, I'm very, very, very excited for this game. Like, it's been a long time. I probably say it's been a couple of years since I've been so excited for a game. Ghost of Tsushima was probably the last one I was like, yo, I need to play this now. And the Sifu was like, it just put me right back into that mode, man. Like, it just looks dope. I love it, man. Again, I'm a big, like, I love, what I'm saying, like martial arts movies and stuff like that. I did martial arts when I was a kid. I love that type of shit. So seeing a dude you can play as him and walk in a room, you know what I'm saying? Like, tap right into that Sleeping Dogs type of vibe and shit. Like, that's just dope. And it has the deeper technicality of combos and the different systems that it has involved. That joint gonna be fire. And I'm here. I'm here. I think the date got moved up. It's like February 4th. It's only like a month away now.
Yeah, it's not far. It's not far whatsoever.
I'm on your neck, boy. Oh, I'm there. I'm there.
Then the next one is a game that's been delayed a few times. And if they delay it again, I won't be upset about it because I want them to have the best game possible. But Dying Light 2 looks really,
Mhm.
really good. Everything
I
we've
agree.
seen so far from it has been looked really phenomenal. But it's always just crazy because everything I've seen is like damn near perfect, but then they still push it back for a specific reason. So it's like something must not be working that we don't see. But I think that that game is gonna be, if it works the way it works in like in the E3s and the presentations, I think we're gonna be in for a really good game.
I definitely agree, man. Dying Light was one that was like super sleeper. Like I didn't expect it to be that good. I know, like
Yeah.
I wasn't really expecting much at the time. Like I feel like it came around that same, I guess, like major time period as like Dying Light and all this other stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah.
not Dying Light. Dead Island. Thank you. Yeah, Dead
Yeah, yeah,
Island.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Towards the end of the
wave.
zombie era.
Yeah, that wave of zombie survival stuff. That and what's it called, Dead Rising and all that. I
Hmm.
I didn't really catch too much of it, but when I did catch some of Dying Light, I was like, yo, this is actually really really dope. And the second one, of course, got me very excited, and then all the delays happened and stuff. So at some point, I was very very patient. I'm still very patient. Where it's like, yo, listen, do what you guys got to do. Throw Rosario Dawson in there. Do whatever the hell it is you need before it's time to release the game, and just let's hope it's fire. I really think it's still gonna come through. It's just the momentum's like it's been a little bit shifty because it had the delays and then stop started, had some stuff here, dropped off the face of the earth a little bit and came back. But I'm fine as long as it releases and they're releasing with their best intentions. With there's not no rushing of it and there's bugs and stuff like that. Or major game breaking bugs. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Um. Lastly, I'm gonna let Saints Row take the spot because I'm actually
Hey,
really excited. I'm actually really
interesting.
excited for Saints Row. A lot of people, it's funny because I see a lot of like not necessarily hate, but some negativity towards the game, which I can
Mhm,
understand. They were saying like, "Yo, it looks kind of like a last gen game or whatever." But
mhm.
honestly, if the game runs if it runs smooth and it plays like a Saints Row game, I think we're gonna have a blast. Because I was actually playing Agents of Mayhem recently, which
Yeah,
was the game
I
that
I
came
saw
out
you streaming it the other
after
day.
it came out after Saints Row 4,
Mm,
and this game it bombed. It bombed.
yes,
It didn't
it
do
did.
well. But I was playing and I was like, this game is still pretty fun though. So
Mhm.
like if the next Saints Row game is just fun, I don't really care. I don't care if the graphics are good. I don't care about XYZ. If it's a fun Saints Row game, I'm all for it.
Yeah, nah, I definitely agree, man. This brings back a random like side memory. I am still so pissed about how they did Crackdown 3, but that's another story for another day. I love Crackdown. I love Crackdown 2. Those
Yeah.
are like two underrated games in the back of my head. Fuck how they did Crackdown 3. That's bullshit. But
Yeah.
anyways, Saints Row, it's like I'm not hating on it. I'm just cautious to see where they are. I feel like
Oh, 100%.
the thing that brings me back, bracking back in like more of a positive mindset about it is that they're restarting the entire series, and I understand they want to have a lot of room to grow, so they're gonna try and keep it, really grounded or as grounded as they possibly can to Saints Row standards. And
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that a lot of the characterization and the character development is really Saints Rowish. I hope that stays
Yeah.
true. I hope that doesn't change at all because that's what really made it, tick. You know what I'm saying? Like all the different cast of characters that you had. What's his name? What's his name? Johnny Gat. Like he's not in there. I'm about to say
No, no, he's not.
yeah, he's
But there's
not
like
in
a
there.
kid
But
there that there's a dude who seems like resembles like what Johnny Gat would be
mhm.
in this
And
franchise.
if they have the kind of the ethos of those type of characters in this iteration, I'm not gonna be mad at it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
just as enjoyable as any other Saints Row title. That came out before. If you kind of stick to that spirit in terms of characters and their reaction to the zany over the top type of action that they're getting into. So if they do
Yeah.
that, I'm cool with it. I'm definitely cool with it. I'm gonna add a little bit of a different one. Let's see. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Oh, actually, now we'll go back to the mainstream. Starfield. Starfield. Now,
Mm.
I'm excited in a different way. I'm delaying this excitement as much as I possibly can. Now, it's not even as much as excitement as it is hope. I really hope that this game like just transports us back into that Bethesda magic because they, what I'm saying, Fallout 76 was Fallout 76.
Yeah.
It was there. It had a really rough start and then it was just there. It got better over time, but then it was just there. But Starfield, I feel like that's kind of like again, this next big thing we've been hearing about it for years. I really wanted to hit the ground running in terms of, how you interact with the world and just the depth that they're getting into. I cannot wait for that one personally. In terms of, if they hit what they're supposed to hit in terms of the world building and in terms of the interaction with everything and how vast it might be, that's gonna be a fire joint. That's gonna be a
Yeah.
fire joint. So definitely Starfield. And let's definitely go with Elden Ring. Psych! Hell nah. I'm not excited for Elden Ring. Gives a fuck about Elden Ring, nigga. I don't care. I don't. I'm gonna say it again. I don't care about Elden Ring. Y'all can go die 100 times in 1 hour if you want. That's not on me. You can do it cooperatively now. Go have fun, you Hellions. Go have fun. But yeah. No, literally. And then like the last one, I'd probably say the Callisto Protocol. Now, I normally don't play any scary games. I don't play scary games like that. But the Callisto Protocol looked mad interesting. And now that the Dead Space remake is around, I was still interested on what they had to offer because it looked really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm pretty sure it was from the same team that made Dead Space. It just kind of moved on to another studio and did other things. But it from the little tidbit that we got, I'm excited to see what it looks like, bro. Because I'm like, yo, listen, I might step outside for a scary game or two. I might pop in for that one. So that's definitely on my radar. I'm excited for that. And of course, again, I'm not giving you guys the damn, what I'm saying, the obvious hits. Oh yeah, God of War Ragnarok. Duh. When are you not excited for God of War Ragnarok? Just
I mean,
off the cuff
everybody
question.
is. Like that's why I was like, I was
Exactly.
skipping a few of them. 'Cause it's just like,
Exactly. Exactly.
I said Pokemon, but like, yeah, we're all excited for Pokemon. Like it's one of those
You know what
things
I'm
where it's like,
Yeah. Let me
Who is
give
it?
an out of the box take here. Horizon Forbidden West. Like, nigga, everybody is on that,
Yeah,
bro.
it's gonna be a good
Everybody
game.
wants to see it do well. Everybody's excited for that, bro. You've been seeing damn PlayStation adverts during like NBA games and whatnot for like 3 months now, bro. Like, come on now. Come
Yeah.
on, dog. Let's not do that. But yeah, that's why I didn't include them. But yeah, that's there. I really am curious to see how this new Breath of the Wild game is gonna hit the streets, because people gonna be on that like crack. I'm not excited for it, but I just want to see how that hits the streets, because I know people gonna be clamoring, bro.
Yeah, like there's a lot of games coming out. I kind of try to focus more on stuff that like I feel like would make me happy. Like the God of Wars and the Horizons are always going to be there. Next year there's a lot coming out. Now that Death Stranding, the director's cut, is coming to PC. Now I gotta buy it a third time. I don't mind it though. I really enjoy that game. If I don't see an announcement next year for another Kojima game, I'm actually gonna be a little upset. But hey, it is what it is.
Hey,
He hasn't returned any of my calls.
Hey, no way. Apparently, I saw on Twitter or something like that. He was like, "Yo, I'm back in the offices" or something like that. Like, so he's starting to get to work on some other projects. He was like some radio, some whatever, some he can't announce or something like that. But he might
was
be
funny
working on
like
some shit.
his tweets really just be him living his life. Because I remember I saw a tweet this morning and he was like,
He
"Yeah, he
doing
really be
whatever.
just chilling." He's like trying out the new Samurai Big Mac or whatever, and I was like, "Yo, my man, where's Death Stranding 2, dog?" But I don't want to be that guy. I'm like, I was just like, "Enjoy your sandwich, Mr. Kojima. Let me know how it is." Like he really just be like, "Yeah, man, I'm reading a few books today," and I'm just like, "All right, cool, dude."
It's a damn man.
No pressure.
It said that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Where is the second one?
Where's the game?
Oh
like,
my gosh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, and there's other stuff that seems like it's going to be pretty cool. That's on my radar.
Yeah.
There's there's so many games that like listing. It would literally almost list every game that comes out next year. But I try to list.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to like get my hopes up, because there's a bunch of games that have no release date, but they're like next year,
Facts.
but they have no
Facts.
real release date.
Yeah.
It's at this point, especially with COVID, things are going to get pushed back. Don't expect everything to come out this year. Things are going to get pushed back.
You see how Omarion's spinning the block. There could be some room for. I still think it's gonna be a really big year, but I am very wary of how all this COVID stuff like develops and redevelops going forward. So it could change some things going moving into the year. I still think it's gonna be a pretty packed schedule in terms of releases and whatnot.
For sure.
I feel like stuff that we might see like more. I think we'll see more top of the year stuff get pushed back into the middle of the year and even end of the year. And this is where I'm like, yo, summer games, just drop summer games, just do it in the summer.
Yeah.
Just pull the trigger. We understand, like, people aren't gonna be as out. Okay, some people aren't gonna be as outside because they dumb as shit. But come on, for the game drought, please just let's not do that this year. Let's actually have some consistency. You know what I'm saying? And then put some stuff in the summer.
Saints Row was supposed to drop in February. It's now dropping in August. Which I'm not against, because I as a kid growing up, I understand that like people were like, yo, I'm outside all summer. I'm not. I'm very much not. I'm inside most of the summer. I hate the hot. I like being indoors with the air
Yeah.
conditioning. So like a game coming out in August or July, I don't think would be that big of a problem for people because it's like that's usually literally the summer months is the games that I usually get back into like Warframe. I'll play more
Yeah.
Destiny. I'll play like the games that have
grindier
like a
games.
grind. Yeah, the grinder because I have nothing else to play. Like I'll start playing more Apex or whatever, just because I have nothing else to play. So I would love for them to push some stuff back. Maybe push some stuff out of February because that looks like an enormous month, and
Ridiculous.
push it into like in May. Put it into June. Like there's just a lot more space in the world, and people are. I'm just tired of like even if you're a very outdoorsy person, at some point you're gonna have to go back to your house and either go to sleep or something. Like at some point you're not gonna be
You gotta
outside.
play the game
Like
or
just
something like that, bro. If you
I'm gonna
bought
play
it,
it.
it's
Like I'm
there.
going to play the game. It just can we
On me.
not put everything in 3 months of a 12-month year?
Listen, man. I one day they'll realize that a lot of sales, come from the summer months. Much to people's belief or disbelief. When did I want to say when did Ghost of Tsushima drop? Was it? It wasn't the fall. I feel like it was a late
No,
summer joint. I feel like it was
it
late
was
summer. July
spring. I want to
17th.
say.
It was
Oh,
July
was it
17th.
July? Oh my
July
god.
17th. Case in point right there. July 17th, 2020. Nothing else was really around it like that to my knowledge. And it blew
And
shit out the
no,
water. Look at that.
and we were all inside playing that game,
I know
regardless of COVID.
I
I remember
was.
everybody, and it's funny because there were so many people who I used to watch stream who I had to stop watching because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm literally playing the same game as like
Spoil-
my half of my following list.
Yep. Everybody had to steer clear and all that stuff like that. So I'm
Mhm.
like, listen, there's merit in dropping a big release during the spring. If you have enough promo momentum and you're just that big of a game, you can drop it midsummer and people gonna flock to it like crack, bro.
They're
Like just
gonna play it.
you don't have to literally like please don't be that guy that's like, yo, we're gonna drop a week before Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying, in November, baby. We're gonna drop a week before that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they think that, because Call of Duty's not as hot as it used to be, you'll still get blown out the damn water, bro. Just don't drop nothing in November like that, bro. Just save that for them. They got that. Just drop it early. Come here. The better chance you have of surviving if you drop it in the summer month. If you're a smaller game, especially.
And that's how you get games that like come out in November and then end up on sale in December. Like I don't even every game I think I missed Far Cry 6 was a game this year that I wanted to last year that I wanted to play on release that I didn't get the chance to because I was broke.
Yeah.
And like if I wasn't still broke in December, I could have got it for $30. A brand new game on sale for $30. And like this is what happens is that you guys release like if you would have told me, yo, Far Cry 6 drops in July, I would have bought it because I had money in July. I wasn't doing anything in July. I was just at home chilling. And I have time for these big Ubisoft games with like a million things to do in them. But instead, you want to drop it next to Call of Duty, Battlefield, all these other games. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't got it. Like you're just gonna get left out of the rotation. And once a game
Facts.
gets left out of the rotation, once you pass your release date, if it doesn't get picked up within like I want to say a month after it's been released, most people just kind of move on to the next thing because of how fast games come out.
Because the year's rolling. We gotta get the other
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Not even to mention that, you gotta also gotta think about the people like me who I own Game Pass. So like if I don't buy it on the first month, I have an entire library of games to play to keep my mind off of your game until your game becomes a $20 game.
Said push your box to the left, everything you own. You not irreplaceable, big dog. That's really how it is though, honestly. And with again people's time, people's schedules, and again just the absolute like the load of games that people have, depending. Some people have Game Pass, some people have a backlog that's crazy long. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying, name names, me, but it's a lot of stuff that that might come before, and you have to be really compelling to just jump that line. So timing is key. Timing is key. And I'm like, listen, it wouldn't hurt a lot of these companies to drop in the summer months because it's as much as they may not believe, there's a lot of people still inside playing games even more than ever. So you might want to jump on that.
Yeah.
I agree. But yeah, man, that's all of the show notes I had for today, man. Is there anything else you might want to cover that we didn't catch on to in this?
No, not really. Because I think we covered a pretty good basis. I think there's a lot of more news to come in the following weeks. We just started 2022, and it seems like it's gonna be it's been pretty calm, but it seems like it's gonna be like a month to watch, because one thing I've noticed this year is that a lot of games got announced for this year, but not a lot of release dates. A lot of 2022 announcements, but not a lot of actual dates. And I think it's mostly because I think all the companies are expecting because of how COVID is going, it's going to be a big wave of like staying at home and lockdowns and stuff. And we're going to see how that affects certain game releases. Some games are going to get pushed back, and I think that's going to be probably best for those games. But some games might not get left back. We'll see how that affects everything.
I agree. I agree. It's gonna be a big ass year. You know what I'm saying? Check out for Game of the Year's incoming Advance Wars 1 and 2 remastered. It's coming back.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's a game. Advance Wars for yeah, they think I'm joking. They think I'm joking. Game of the Year 2022. Advance Wars 1 and 2. Stop playing with me, man.
those are some good ass games though.
Oh,
Those are some
that's
really good
facts.
games.
People sleep on Advance Wars. People sleep on Advance Wars, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I stumbled upon that Game Boy days. I stumbled upon them joints.
Those are
But
some really good games.
so that's another conversation for another podcast episode, man. But that is definitely it for this episode 4, the inaugural episode for 2022. And we will be back next week. We will be moving and rolling, man. Keep it locked here on Anchor and Spotify podcast. Make sure if y'all see that rating thing, you know what I'm saying, give us that good rating. Help bump us up. We about to find more people and get it cracking. Make sure you follow us, all of us, on all socials at No Cooldown Pod on Twitter, at Wutaku Channel on YouTube, at WenEazy on Twitter, at ThatManTripp on YouTube and Twitter. And yeah, man, listen, have yourself a good week. Go play some games. Go wash your face. Go drink some water. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go tell an NFT person that's trying to put it in games. Go tell them to go slap themselves and touch grass. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do to have a good life. And we will
Facts.
definitely see you in the next one, man. We up out of here, bro. No cool down. We gone.